You know, life is full of change, but some transitions can really shake a family to its core. So today, we're going to talk about how to find your footing, how to find that stability when your world feels like it's been turned completely upside down.
Think about it. Whether it's a big move to a new city, a separation, or maybe the loss of a loved one, these events just completely disrupt our routines. They can create this really deep sense of instability. And yeah, it's tough. It's really challenging. But just understanding the path forward, that's the first real step toward healing.
So, does any of this sound familiar to you? Is there a kind of tension in your home that maybe wasn't there before? A feeling that a recent change has just left everyone feeling, well, a little off balance? If that's you, trust me, you are not alone.
Okay, let's dive into these overwhelming changes. Because you know what? Even a good change, like a fantastic new job in another country, can bring a ton of stress. It's just a totally natural response when the very foundations of your family life are suddenly shifted. Getting through these massive shifts takes more than just letting time pass. It really requires a conscious effort, to rebuild how you talk to each other, to come up with new ways to cope, and to really nurture a shared sense of hope for what's next.
But how can you tell, right? How do you know the difference between just normal growing pains and something deeper? Let's take a look at the specific warning signs and the things that usually trigger them.
These big challenges can really pop up from anywhere. A relocation can be incredibly hard, especially for expat families. Things like divorce or a sudden illness can bring so much emotional stress. And hey, even things that seem positive, like retirement, can completely change a family's entire rhythm.
And those triggers? Well, they tend to show up in some really common ways. You might start noticing more arguments, or maybe everyone's just a bit emotionally distant. Kids, especially, since they often can't put their feelings into words, might start acting out. That feeling of being disconnected, that's a huge sign that it might be time to get some support.
But here's the really good news. There is a way through this. It's not about just hunkering down and waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to build a stronger boat. So let's see what a structured, supportive approach actually looks like.
A clear path forward usually has a few key steps. It almost always starts with improving communication, because let's face it, you can't solve problems you can't even talk about. From there, you can move on to finding real practical solutions. This whole process also gives everyone the space to process grief and helps parents get on the same page, providing that solid foundation for their kids.
And, the bedrock of this whole thing is creating a space that is completely non-judgmental. This isn't about blaming anyone or finding fault. It's about building a safe harbor where every single person feels heard, respected, and ready to adapt together.
So what does success even look like on the other side? Well, the goal isn't just to get back to the way things were. It's about building a more resilient family, one that's actually better equipped to handle whatever storms come next.
The first huge outcome is emotional resilience. So, what does that mean? It means instead of being broken apart by challenges, your family learns how to bend without breaking. You develop the skills to face future problems as a real team.
Next up, you can look forward to communication that's calmer and way clearer. Just imagine replacing all those arguments or that tense silence with conversations that are actually productive and honest. That right there is a total game changer for the feeling in your home.
At its very heart, this is all about rebuilding trust and support for one another. When every single person in the family feels like they're on the same team, working together, wow, the entire home environment can just transform.
And ultimately, all of that leads right here to a renewed feeling of stability. It's that feeling of coming home, both literally and emotionally, and just knowing that you're in a safe, secure, and supportive place once again.
Now, when you're looking for professional help with these kinds of issues, it's so important to know what to look for. Let's walk through the key things that make for really effective, expert care, and we can use the American Wellness Center in Dubai as a great example.
Okay, so when you're choosing a provider, there are a few things to keep an eye out for. First, make sure they have licensed therapists who actually have experience in crisis and transition support. A team with different specialties, that means you get more complete care. And in a diverse city like Dubai, culturally sensitive and multilingual care is absolutely vital. And finally, you want flexible scheduling, right? So you can actually get the care you need.
We all know that taking that first step can feel like the hardest part, but it's also the most powerful one. So let's make it as simple and clear as possible. It all starts with just one single confidential conversation. That's it.
This is your chance to share your story and work together to create a plan that's personalized just for your family's unique situation. A one-size-fits-all approach? It just doesn't work for challenges this personal.
And this is the number to start that conversation. It's a direct line to beginning your family's journey back to finding its balance.
So that's really the question we want to leave you with. Change is going to happen, that's a given. But suffering through it doesn't have to be. Is it time to take that first step towards stability and connection?